Aji Ndumbeh Jobe, fondly known as IG, is a rising Gambian creative whose artistry beautifully weaves together painting, photography, and poetry, each serving as a vibrant reflection of identity, emotions, and everyday life in the Gambia. Her journey into the creative world began after completing a photography course in 2019. With nothing more than her sister's mobile phone, Aji started capturing the raw energy of street life, especially children and teenagers in 2020 during the COVID period. What began as a curiosity quickly evolved into a deep passion that has since shaped her career and inspired many.
I started photography effectively 2021, but the training that I did, which was a short course, was in 2019. So right after 2019, COVID hit during the 2020 COVID. So while I was home, most of the time not going to school or whatever, I was using my sister's phone. And sometimes I even borrow cameras to other photographers that I know to take some shots. And I realized that with all the shots I take usually, I enjoy loving taking photos of kids, something that has to do with outside, basically outdoor shots. And I said to myself, I think I need to do this. But my biggest challenge was, how will I even able to do this, because I didn't have a camera. But then I get a funding from through the Coaches of Influence Foundation. I was issued my first camera. And I was like, okay, let me start this. Now, 2020, I started my first exhibition, which was the Black Portrait exhibition. That was my first solo exhibition. I've been exhibiting in and out of the country, but that was my first solo exhibition wherein all the works were just mine. And I was like, okay, so if I am able to do this, and every other day I am passionate about other trainings, and also, but if I see opportunities outside of the country, I apply to go to equip myself, even if it's a short course. So I was like, okay, with all of this, now perhaps I'm sure somebody else is interested into this. Now I think I need to unfold not just from being a photographer, but how can I also equip other people who are passionate about the field to able to polish their skills when it comes to photography.
Today, IG is not only an artist but also a photography tutor, mentoring over 70 students, many of whom have gone on to build successful creative paths of their own. Through her mentorship, she continues to nurture the next generation of Gambian photographers and visual storytellers. However, her journey has not been without challenges. IG admits that financial limitations remain a major obstacle, especially in implementing some of the ambitious projects she envisions for her community. Despite reaching out to the ministries and other stakeholders, she has yet to receive the support she needs to expand her initiatives.
I think maybe maybe for individual philanthropists, I would say no. But for most of the stakeholders, even my exhibition, all of my exhibitions, I make sure that my concept note reaches to them, my invitation reaches them, and also a letter for sponsorship. I believe perhaps it's not just the right time yet, but I've been reaching out even to other organizations that perhaps I see maybe they're in line with what I am doing to able to maybe chop in a little bit so that we can have funding to utilize that. But I'm not giving up with or without sponsor or funding. I want to make sure that we look at the way in which we can expand the horizon so that we are not just sitting at the corner and say we don't have sponsorship, we don't have funding. But I owe you to the Gambia, to the young people specifically, to come out all angles to make sure that I exhibit my skills. But again, take along other young people as well who are passionate in this field to make sure that they are doing the right thing when it comes to photography.
Her spirit remains unbroken. Aji's biggest motivation is to challenge the mindset that Gambians cannot achieve greatness at home.
Well, I realized that there are a lot of passionate people who are basically into photography currently in the country. And the biggest gap is how they're able to equip to do the work properly. And I believe that for anybody to be professional or to be a better version of what they are, based on whatever career they are, they need to go under training. And I believe that this is just a yardstick as to how we cannot just have a lot of photographers out there who don't know perhaps what the job requires. So this training gives a synopsis of how the basic things has to, when you know that, you're able to basically step ahead to make sure that you have a good life in future when it comes to photography. I want to shift the narrative of photography because perhaps when people talk about photography, basically, the assumption is that it's just for photo shooting. I'm basically into photojournalism. That is to say, basically, it's photograph that tells stories. And I want to tell other stories that, it's away from just having people with plain clothes and nice, nice background. I want to make sure that I'm provoking ideas and thoughts and also extending people horizon has to say that we have a bigger field when it comes to photography. So yearly I do exhibitions, and yeah, early this year as well I did the exhibition, the first national exhibition that was a combination of painting, pencil works, and also photography. The art industry is white, and my own perspective is that, or my own perspective about this is that it's bigger than just photography and painting and pencil works. So yearly I held exhibitions, and this year the one that I held was the first national, bringing other artists as well to showcase their talent, because we have a lot of talented young people in the country, but our main problem for especially those in the creative art industry is exposure and a platform to showcase their talent. And exhibitions, everybody knows that it's very costly. For you to single-handedly do exhibitions requires a lot of capacity and also funding. So it was a way of me giving voice to the artists so that they can come on board and also realize their potential. Now, when it comes to the photography, this is the third edition that we've been doing. We had our two editions at the GCCI office ground, and I'm proud to lament that almost 30% of the two cohorts that have passed, some of them are currently enrolled into the photography industry. Some already have their studios, and some are partnering and also working in other media houses, which is a plus for me, because if you're doing something and you're not seeing any positive growth in those people, then it's better you stop. But almost all cohorts, I'm in contact with most of them who are doing amazingly well in the photography industry. And that's a reminder for me that this is a good cause.
Hopeful and driven, Aji Ndumbeh Jobe continued to dream big. Her goal is clear: to build a thriving creative space that empowers young Gambians to believe in their talent and succeed without leaving home.
Naturally, anybody who knows me knows that I am very passionate about arts, and I want to change the narrative of Gambians are not talented. I believe that in all careers, that when you want to look, you do not need to go far. We have young people who are capable, who have the skills, who have the talent, and who also equally have the passion. So every day I am motivated. If I am able to pull out something, I want also, even if I left at any point, which is not going to be possible, but I want to left 2, 3 steps ahead so that somebody else will pick it up from there, especially when it comes to the stereotype about young ladies or female doing photography or into media, because there's a huge gap. That's why when we're trying to shortlist, we make sure that at least the first participants we are shortlisting is young ladies, because they need to know that if this is my passion, I have somebody to look up to, and that would encourage them to take up the space. But if you aspire to do something or be something and you have not seen anybody who looks like you excel, then you feel like this is not my space. So the motivation is just beyond having other people to be developed in skills, but equally how they can able to sustain themselves and also have create job for themselves, if at all they do not have any opportunities elsewhere to be hired or to be employed. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to recognize the presence of Basel Media Houses. I always say that media houses present speak a lot of volumes. And this is a media house who just recently started, but reaching out to support young people like this initiative for free. And I know that it should not be that way, but exposure is something that is very vital, and exposure cannot happen without the presence of media. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the CEO and all the staff that supported with this training, because one thing to do something at the corner, but it's again to have another people who hold on the other side to make sure that it's a success. So I want to say, Basel TV, if you have not subscribed to their TV, go there, better go like their posts, and just reach out if you have any event and you see that you want to get them on board, because they are professional. The first thing I want to recommend is that they are timely. Media houses, if you tell them give this time, perhaps some of them, right, they will come after that. But this was a media house who was already here before the founder and the trainer was already on ground. So that speaks a lot of volume, because time is key for every successful nation to work and move forward. Thank you. My name is Aji Ndumbeh Jobe. Bye.
Binta S. Jao, Bessel Media.